Hi, it's Mike Mikowski again with some space and miniature modeling for y'all. This project's a little different. It's something I've been kind of thinking about for a while, and actually I started it summer of 2024. It's now spring of 2025, and it's one of these long-term things because it's rather involved, and I'm really not sure what it was going to be. But it's a diorama, and it's not a real factual space thing, but it's sort of a early space theoretical thing. Let me show you. If y'all recall this kit that came back out, a lot of people are doing fun things with it. And I thought, well, heck, I'm going to need to do something fun as well. So what I came up with was, instead of just building it straight and using the kit markings, or even I've seen people do like, modern space shuttle type markings. Why not do sort of a launch pad diorama? Because this thing comes apart. It's got all these sections. It's got a glider, it's got a fuel tank, a drop tank, a booster. Why not have it all like coming apart on a launch site or something? So let's take a look, show you what I did. I've actually been working on this for a while, but I didn't make any videos because I thought, well, this is not my usual thing. But I don't really have anything going, so you're gonna see what I've built. So the idea is, let's take this in sections and open it up and make some mods. For example, here's the glider part, but I added some landing gear and opened that up. I think they're from an old 200 scale snap together shuttle. Made up some decals, added some details in the back here. So now you've got a glider. The glider has a booster stage, and I thought, well, we need to be like carrying it around. So I found a crane from a model, an N-gauge railroad, put it on the back of, I found a set of aircraft runway airport equipment in 1/144 scale, and it's kind of 50s looking, and it's all these trucks, little fuel trucks, and other equipment. They're mostly got, cabs. And one of them, I said, well, I can make that into a crane like this. And it looks like a piece. Oh, here it is. Piece like that. So now I got a crane. Well, what's that crane going to carry? Well, this crane is going to carry this here. If I can get it on here. It's going to carry this booster stage. And I made this little, lift rig for the booster stage. So I got this cool crane, and it can carry this guy around. And then there's the booster first stage itself. Let's open it up, make a little hatch in there. And, if you look with the light and the magnifier, you can see some tanks and stuff in there. So I did that up and did paint job and some stripes. I don't think I'm gonna do much more with the engines, but open that up. So we got that booster. It sits on this stand. Let's do it so you can see it. There we go. It sits on this stand, which is kind of neat. And so, of course, we need to have guys servicing this booster. So one of the pieces of equipment in this airport set was a lift truck. And, well, I kind of modified it, of course, had to modify it. And so now you got that lift truck, and you can get it set up so that it can back up and have some people messing around inside the rocket ship. You can get it in the right place. There you go. Something like that. So we got the makings of a scene here. And there's another truck. And then you got the, let's put this away. You've got this drop tank. And it's pretty cool. So I kind of said, well, it's going to be by itself on the side. But maybe add some engines to that. Needs a little paint. And I had these old things from a ship model, and they make great, work platforms. So you put all these together and make something kind of neat. And that's where I got. And so, but then I still don't know what it's going to look like when it's done. It's one of these projects that you have a kind of a sense of what you want, but you're not really sure until it all comes together. One other element of this project was that I had, I was doing all these Gemini models. So I had all these leftover parts, all the little fuel tanks and pressure tanks and oxygen tanks and stuff that goes in the adapter, and I didn't use those for most of them. So I got a big pile of them. So I had the idea, maybe I can make like a tank farm or a rack of stuff and use it on some project like this. I got all these bazillions of these. Look, I got all these sprues full of tanks. What am I going to do with this? So I said, well, maybe I can make sort of a like a rack of tanks that go with this launch equipment. So that's the plan. Exactly what it's going to look like, I have no idea. But I'll start playing around, building up a bunch of these, and we'll see if we can make something interesting that goes with that Convair space shuttlecraft into something interesting in the diorama kind of world. Because I don't do dioramas very often. So I thought I needed to try something like this. So we'll see where it goes. This project's gonna have this kit modified quite a bit. You can kind of see I've cut off half of the base because it's too big for my diorama. And I'm gonna get rid of the railroad feature. But I need still the support structure. So I've shortened it, and I'm gonna repurpose some of these parts. Like this top was gonna be back here, but I've cut it apart, and then I'm gonna put, let's see, this is gonna go on top here. Actually, and then I cut this and trimmed it to fit in between here. I had to make a few modifications, but that'll, because I'm kind of kludging this together, and I gotta reinforce everything where it doesn't fit anymore. So that piece will slide in there if you trim it right. And this piece, the rest of it, will fit on top if you trim it right. Something like that. Now it's a little sturdier and more complete, and we'll clean those gaps up in the back enough to make it look like a complete structure. You can see I've already put a little L section here in the corner to hold that together. And then I'll put a base on here to give it a flat base. So I'm gonna get this sub-assembly put together and cleaned up, and then I'll paint it. You can see I've got some tape on there because that's a gray base, and this will be gray. But I just got it fitted in here to get it aligned properly. And then all that's gonna be red. I'm not gonna do the red and white stripe alternating like the kit shows, but there'll be some of that, just a little different. It'll be more red, and maybe the platforms will be white. So this is just kind of messing around with this and adapting it to fit the size I need. I've got some primer on here now. I think it looks pretty cool. Maybe it needs a little cleanup, but this is, going to be weathered to a certain degree. And I'm going to put some red on here, and I think most of it's going to be red. I just said like the walkways and stuff will be white. It's got a lot of staircases, but I think they're going to look a little out of scale, so I might decide to not put the staircases on that came with this Jupiter kit. We'll see. Again, this is all going to be figure it out as I go. But now it's time for some painting. I want to get the paint on here because I got to put some stuff in the middle, and I have to like paint it separately before I put it together. So I wanted to get this get going first.